Ladies and gentlemen, the Oaks won on Friday night 7-5. They won last night 8-4. If they win tonight here in Pasadena, it has happened before. We are in Pasadena, California at Jackie Robinson Field as the Conejo Oaks take on the Arroyo Seco Saints. The Oaks are looking to stay perfect after the All-Star break, taking on a team that has had some juju over the Oaks. We've seen some weird victories for the Saints so far this summer at the expense of the Oaks. Starting lineup today, Mac Moyer leading off. It's a pretty usual lineup that you will see. Zach Schwartzberg batting second, Austin Carrillo hitting third, Chris Wright, the cleanup man, Brendan Durfee, another game behind the plate, Drew Smith at third, hitting sixth, Max Aude at first, Bennett Markinson doing the DHing, and Carson Falsken rounding out the lineup. They'll be taking on Peyton Carrillo, a southpaw for the Saints. And Josh, the Oaks have looked pretty good, scoring 7 runs and 8 in consecutive games after the All-Star break. What do the Oaks have to do to keep up the hot bats?
Well, they just have to do what they've been doing the past couple of days, and that's working these long at-bats, getting themselves in hitters' counts, and in those hitters' counts being aggressive. We saw in the first inning on Thursday, the Oaks only saw 3 strikes in the first 3 batters, and each of those strikes were a base knock. So they just got to be patient early in the at-bat, get themselves in those hitter counts, and then be aggressive when they see something they like.
Carrillo out of the stretch, and Moyer goes after the first one. Swung on and missed, and we're underway.
Apologize for the camera. Obviously, we know this isn't the best angle, but right now, with the sunlight, you can't really see anything. That'll get better as the game goes on.
Another one to Moyer in at the knees for strike 2. He's in a 0-2 hole quickly. Just off the outside corner, 1-2. Carrillo having a pretty good season so far for the Saints. 2.81 ERA in 16 innings pitched. A whip around 1 batter per inning. 20 strikeouts in 16 innings. Also pretty good. 17 hits and 2 walks given up on the season. Moyer fouled that one off his shin, and the count remains 1-2.
Just those 2 walks in 16 innings, so expect to see a lot of strikes from Carrillo, and we know a lot of these Oaks hitters like to swing early in the count, so expect a lot of that today.
Carrillo set up the belt. 1-2. Chopped, foul. Second consecutive foul ball for Mac Moyer. Just trying to drive up the pitch count. Moyer doing what a leadoff man does, showing as many pitches as possible for his teammates. Some encouraging words from his teammates. Another 1-2. Line the other way for a base hit into left field. After falling behind Aude.
An outside fastball and just lacing it to left center field gap. Textbook swing from Mac Moyer right there.
We'll bring up the shortstop, Zach Schwartzberg. First pitch, off the outside corner, ball 1. We saw Schwartzberg really feature as the number 9 hitter, but with his average the way it is, he earned his way up the lineup.
Yeah, early on
the number 2 hitter for Coach Solis.
Schwartzberg was one of the top 2 hitters as far as average goes for the first couple weeks of the season, and then he dipped off a little bit and just went into a bit of a slump, but he's been really great offensively lately, and he's got his average up to nearly 300 at this point.
There was a pause as Carriaco has been wearing some white wristbands. Can't wear those while you're pitching. And the 1-0 picked off is Moyer.
Ooh.
A strong slide into second base that takes out the shortstop Mason Hammonds. And Moyer may be shaken up a little bit. They do a little inspection at second base as it may have been.
Base come out.
Now doing a little bit of grounds crew work, a little landscaping. 1 out now after Moyer was picked off by Peyton Carriaco. Lefty on the mound. Moyer just decided to go on the first move. Trying to catch Carriaco slipping. To no avail. 1 ball, no strike, 1 out as the Arroyo Seco Saints are trying to figure out how to put second base back in its peg.
Good teamwork. Took the entire
It took
infield,
the entire infield and someone off the bench.
but they did it.
The answer to the question, how many Saints does it take to put a base in its peg? Turns out the number is 6. 1-0 to Schwartzberg.
Ooh.
Big hack comes up empty, 1-1.
Looks like a change up there from Carriaco. First one we've seen from him today. He'll throw that more versus the right-handed bats. And he'll probably rely on his breaking ball more against the lefties.
1-1.
It's up.
Misses upstairs. We got a good angle of the height of the strike zone where we're sitting, and that's about it. Everything else leaves a little bit to be desired. Anything to right field, we're gonna need a lot of help. 2-1,
Ooh.
outside, and the count runs to 3-1. Carriaco in danger of doing something he rarely does this summer. Allow a base on balls. Only 2 in 16 innings of work. 16 and a third now. Set at the belt, the 3-1.
Ooh.
Check swing, fouled into the net. The fence, I should say.
When you're ahead 3-1, of course, you're looking for one spot, and usually you're going to want to take a big rip at it, but that time Schwartzberg almost tried to check his swing there. He did try to check his swing, but still got a piece of it.
The full count.
Nice swing.
Slap the other way for a base hit. Schwartzberg takes a round around first. He's going into second, and he'll be in there safely for a 1-out double. Again, as we mentioned, we do not have a great angle of right field, so I was just basing that all on Schwartzberg's body language. Stays hot at the plate, and 2 hits to open up the ballgame for the Oaks.
It's just an excellent piece of hitting there from Zach Schwartzberg. 3-2 count. Anything close, takes an outside pitch and drives it down the right field line.
Brings up Austin Carrillo. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Inside move from Carriaco. Schwartzberg wasn't far enough to even draw a throw. First pitch. Misses, and counts 1-0.
Early on, it seems like the home plate umpire has a bit of a tight strike zone. Hasn't given the inside or the outside pitch.
The 1-0. Can't tell if that one missed inside or outside. Looked like it had the height.
Yeah.
2-0 count. Carrillo in a hitter's count.
Ooh.
Looked like a breaking ball that got in there for strike 1. 2-1 now. Schwartzberg, no real big lead to speak of at second, although Carrillo still is paying a lot of attention to him. Pitch. And the first 3 men reach for the Oaks. How big does the pickoff move from Carrillo hold now? It would be at least bases loaded for Chris Wright, maybe even 1 run in already. Last time we were here, Chris Wright hit one into the night sky over everything. The fence, the netting, the building behind, as he looks at one in the dirt for ball 1.
Chris is the team RBI leader with 13 runs batted in this summer. Now he's up there with Schwartzberg out there at second and Carrillo at first. RBI opportunity here in the first inning for Chris. Ooh.
Takes a big hack and comes up empty. 1-1.
That looked like the breaking ball there from Carrillo. He'll showcase that more versus the lefties, and he's missed up with it a couple of times, but that time he located it exactly where he was looking for it and got the chase from Chris.
Couple looks at Schwartzberg up the middle. Flips over to second for 1. And it beats Chris Wright for the double play. Was waiting for the confirmation from the umpire to make the call. And it's a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning for the Saints. We'll head to the bottom of the first as the Saints have their first at-bats. Bottom of the first after 3 men reach for the Oaks. Peyton Carrillo picks off Mac Moyer and induces a ground ball, which leads to a Chris Wright double play. And that's all we got so far. Starting on the mound today for the Oaks is showcase man Blake Reilly. 3 members of the Oaks in today's game, featured in the CCL Showcase game. And we may or may not be seeing Cole Fisher in relief tonight. It may be maybe Reilly for 5 and then Fisher the rest of the way. We're not entirely sure. Connor Bradshaw leading off for the Saints. Looks at a fastball that is up for ball 1. Blake Reilly's defense, Brendan Durfee completing the battery as the 1-0 breaking ball is in there, 1-1. Max Aude at first, Carson Falsken and Zach Schwartzberg up the middle. Drew Smith at third, Carrillo in left, Moyer in center, and Chris Wright in right. Bradshaw goes at another high fastball, and fouls it back.
For Reilly, this is his first start in quite some time, so they're not going to get as much length out of him as they normally would. He's been giving the Oaks 6-7 innings in his starts, but today it'll be more like 4 or 5 innings we're expecting.
Breaking ball in the dirt, smothered by Durfee. Counts 2-2.
Although they threw just 1 inning on Wednesday, both Fisher and Reilly's whole schedule gets thrown off, pitching on a day they normally wouldn't.
The 2-2.
Good pitch.
Swung on and missed in the dirt. A tag by Brendan Durfee to complete the strikeout, and he throws it around the horn for out number 1.
Great job by Reilly there, locating that breaking ball. 1-2 count, had a pitch to waste there, didn't need to throw it for a strike, and got the chase.
Exactly how any starting pitcher wants to start off his day. Striking off the leadout man. Striking out even. Max Blessinger in there now for the Saints. Blessinger, one of the everyday players for the Saints. And he earns that status, 346 on base, batting average, 400 on base percentage. That time he grounds out to Zach Schwartzberg at short for out number 2.
Great job there by Reilly getting a quick out after a strikeout in the first at-bat. Now going after Blessinger, that first pitch breaking ball, getting a strike, and then going after him with the fastball, and then getting a routine ground out to Schwartzberg.
After one of the regulars, Blessinger, it's someone who doesn't feature quite as much in the Saints lineup, Jordan Rogers. He goes after the first pitch. Another test for Schwartzberg, and it's an easy one. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Blake Reilly. At the end of 1, no score. Brendan Durfee leading off the top of the second as we were informing Coach Solis of our ice cream choices. Backhanded play at short by Mason Hammonds, and that's 3 consecutive first pitch outs.
Hammonds made that play a little bit more difficult than he needed to. I don't know if it hit something out there, but he was heading towards the middle, and then he ended up having to backhand it. He almost overran that ball.
3 consecutive batters have grounded out to shortstop in this game. And it's Drew Smith. Up at the plate with 1 out. First pitch is low for ball 1.
Drew getting a fake bunt sign there, or just a take sign and wanting to show bunt, screw with the pitcher and catcher, but he was taken all the way there.
Another one in the dirt, and Smith easily spits on that ball. 2-0.
Smith gets one he likes here. Let's see if he'll be aggressive.
2-0. Misses low. And Smith in the driver's seat. 3-0 count. It'll be up to him whether he wants to go after this one. He does, and he flies it into center field. Blessinger under it for out number 1. 2, I should say. It'll be up to the first baseman, Max Aude, to continue this inning. Aude, not an everyday player for the Oaks, but does have a pretty good sample size. He goes after the first pitch and drives it in the right field. Going back at the wall is Bradshaw, and he makes the catch. On the warning track, just misses a home run. Another quick inning for Peyton Carriaco. 1, 2, 3, the Oaks go down. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Burge, Teo, and Godfrey due up for the Saints. Blake Reilly is back out there for his second inning of work. First man greeting him in the bottom of the second is the left-handed hitting catcher, Alex Burge. Burge, pretty good numbers for a catcher. 277 average, 469 on base percentage, and a 532 slugging. Burge, also a member of the Saints that was in the CCL showcase game. 1-0 from Reilly. Popped up. Right field. Chris Wright drifting into foul territory and makes the catch.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Coach Solis letting us know that Chris Wright was able to make the catch. And it is now another member of the Saints that was in that showcase game, Raider Teo. So
Teo, and
we should ask him. He goes after the first pitch breaking ball, comes up empty. Raider.
It's a cool name.
Dynamite first name. Behind in the count 0-2. He has pretty good numbers as well. 383 average, 431 on base percentage, and a 468 slug. The 0-2 from Reilly. Popped up again. Aude, plenty of room to make the catch, and he does. 2 foul outs to begin the inning for Blake Reilly.
Exactly what you want from Blake. Just pound the strike zone, get some weak contact, infield pop up, and not much more you could ask for these first 5 outs. Doesn't like the baseball though.
The left fielder, Preston Godfrey, the third hitter of the inning for the Saints. Reilly gets a ball he likes, comes home, misses upstairs. Reilly working quickly, looking to get out of this inning in under 10 pitches.
Yep, good spot.
That one's on the outside corner, strike one. A 1-1, popped up, left field. Carrillo going back, the ball's carrying, and Carrillo catches it just before he gets to the warning track to retire the side. Another 1-2-3 inning. 6 up, 6 down to begin the day for Blake Reilly as we head to the top of the third. Still looking for our first run. Top of the third, Bennett Markinson leading off the inning for the Oaks. Markinson doing the DHing in today's ballgame. Carriaco still out there for the Saints. Ooh. Goes after. That one stays low, and the count's now 1-1. Carriaco comes home. Gets one at the knees, strike two.
Markinson goes to Northwestern, where there's been a lot of change over there as far as the coaching staff goes. Saw the football coach was fired, but more importantly for Bennett, baseball coach, they're gone and will be replaced.
Goes after a high fastball and comes up empty. First strikeout of the day for Peyton Carriaco. Five straight set down by the Saints southpaw. Have a good look at Carriaco here. He got a look similar to Mitch Williams, relief pitcher for the Phillies back in the 90s.
Gave up.
Who's most famous for giving up that walk-off home run in Game 6 of the World Series to Joe Carter. Blue Jays winning back-to-back World Series then and since. Nada.
Beat it.
A bunt laid down by Carson Falsken, and he'll earn himself a hit. A bunt single for Carson Falsken. And since Falsken has made the switch of not going switch hitting anymore, strictly swinging from the right-handed batter's box, he has turned his summer around.
Loud noises right there.
Third hit of the day for the Oaks.
A bunt hit gets a dugout fired up as much as anything else does. Dumped it after pitcher bobbled that one.
Falsken a modest lead off of first. Has to be careful with Carriaco's move. First pitch to Moyer, in there at the knees. He is confirming with the umpire if that was at the knees. The umpire gives him a nod.
Wanted to ask him, make sure he won't go down any farther than that.
Carriaco looks at Falsken, and the move wasn't his best. Saw it coming from a mile away. When someone like me is able to see that the pitcher is throwing a first, surely you would think that the entire dugout does as well. And the dugout helped Carson Falsken out, letting him know to get back. 0-1 to Moyer. And runs in on the hands and nearly takes him off. 1-1.
You see the left fielder for the Saints playing more in left center, knowing the scouting report of Moyer and where he hit the ball in the first inning.
The 1-1. Rolled over, foul. One and two now the count. To the young duck. Carriaco gets his sign. Set at the belt. Look at Falsken, comes home. Slapped the other way for another base hit. Back-to-back singles here in the third, and the Oaks are in business. 2 on, 1 out for Zach Schwartzberg.
Mac Moyer sure is a fun guy to watch hit when he's on your team. Does not panic when he gets into a 2-strike count, and he's willing to hit the ball the other way, as he's showcased today with both of his hits going to left field.
2 hits and as many at-bats for the Oaks leadoff man. Not being held by the first baseman as Carson Falsken is at second. First pitch is in the dirt. It gets past Alex Burge, and it'll be 2 men in scoring position for Schwartzberg. If Schwartzberg is one to replicate his first at-bat as Moyer did, it will be a 2-0 lead for the Oaks.
The Saints are keeping their infield back, so there's a lot of different ways that Schwartzberg could drive in this run. Of course, he'd prefer a hit to drive in both, but productive out it works in this situation as well.
Anything up the middle will guarantee at least 1 run. Schwartzberg goes after that one, 1-1. Seen the Oaks have a lot more productive outs as of late. Schwartzberg wouldn't be opposed to joining that party, but he would love a hit. It could drive in 2.
Good lead.
That one, we'll call that a changeup, 2-1. Carriaco really starting a labor out there. You can see the sweat for Schwartzberg. Carriaco comes home and misses upstairs, 3-1. Four hits already given up by Carriaco in just the third inning. Also the Austin Carrillo HBP. 5 base runners in 3 innings. Not a recipe for success.
Ooh.
Schwartzberg swings at a 3-1 pitch and comes up empty, and the count runs full.
Now with 2 strikes, Zach just has to put the ball in play. Elevate something in the outfield for a sac fly or something on the ground. RBI ground out.
It was a 3-2 count when he slapped a double down the right field line back in the first. Someone calls time and we'll reset. Schwartzberg ready at the plate. Carrillo sit at the bump. The full count. Check swing, holds up, and Schwartzberg earns a walk. And the bases are loaded for Austin Carrillo.
It's a really great at-bat there by Zach Schwartzberg. Even though he got ahead of the count 3-1, got aggressive, wanting to drive it and run, chased a pitch out of the zone. Then on the 3-2 pitch, he was patient enough to watch a fastball miss outside by a couple inches and earn himself a walk.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The onus is on the pitcher. First pitch to Austin Carrillo, misses upstairs, ball 1. And that'll warrant a quick visit from Carrillo's catcher, Alex Burge. It's Burge's job to calm down Carrillo. He has nowhere to put Carrillo. The 1-0 in the dirt, ball 2. Seen the Oaks so far get into a lot of hitters' counts against Carrillo. Chipping away, and finally in the opportunity to do some real damage. Bases loaded, 1 man out, 2-0 count to Austin Carrillo. Carrillo comes home, and that one hits Carrillo. Second time Carrillo has been hit in as many plate appearances, but that'll force a run in, earning an RBI the hard way. Carrillo to open up the scoring, 1-0 Oaks. Carrillo in frustration, really throwing the bat with some aggression there. Nobody likes being hit by a pitch, and nobody likes being hit 2 times in a row. It'll warrant another mound visit, this time the pitching coach for the Saints going out to talk to the southpaw.
We'll see if they start to get guys loose in that bullpen with Carrillo's command starting to falter here in the 3rd inning.
Looks like they're beginning to play some musical chairs out there. And the umpire coming onto the mound to break up this small conference. Trotting back with Burge, back behind the plate. Chris Wright grounded into a double play to end the 1st. Now trying to really put a good number on that scoreboard for the Oaks. 1-0 now. First pitch, Wright goes after it. High chopper to the first baseman, Rogers. His only play is to first, and Carrillo does a good job of getting to the bag, but it'll be another run scored for the Oaks. 2-0 on the RBI ground out from Chris Wright.
The Oaks will, of course, take that run, even though Wright didn't pick up a knock there. Just a weakly hit ground ball to the right side, and Rogers' only play was to first base, and the Oaks will take the crooked number.
We mentioned it once this inning, productive outs becoming more common for the Oaks, and there was one there for the big lefty. First pitch to Brendan Durfee.
That's not a strike.
One looked low to everyone. Smothered by Rogers. He takes it to the bag himself to retire the side, but not before the Oaks strike first, scoring 2 runs on an Austin Carrillo hit by a pitch and a Chris Wright ground out. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Blake Reilly looking for his 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Went after the first pitch from Reilly and fouled it down the line. Someone from the Saints bullpen going to collect that ball. First pitch ground outs to Schwartzberg followed. 3 fly balls. Back in the second, another breaking ball there and makes Hammonds look silly. Another strikeout, his second of the day.
Blake's really got that secondary stuff working today, that breaking ball. He's been able to land it for a strike. He's also been able to get it to fall off the table.
Roberto Gonzalez, the number 8 hitter for the Saints, looking to be the first base runner of the day for the Saints. Looks at one below the knees for ball 1.
Ball's probably down, but if you're going to call that pitch a strike to Durfee, you got to call it to a guy who's much shorter.
High chopper.
Oh,
Reilly
yeah.
gets there, flips over to Aude for out number 2. Reilly showing off the athleticism and the focus. That ball was chopped up high in the sky, and with how the sun is here set up at this ballpark, right into the eyes of the pitcher. But Reilly stays cool, calm, and collected to field the ball nicely and toss it over to Aude for out number 2. 8 up, 8 down to begin his day. First pitch, breaking ball, and he enters the back door for strike number 1. Sharply into center field, and it's the first base runner for the Saints. Moyer doing a good job of cutting it off and making sure that Jared Quant only is rewarded with a single. Finally, a base runner for the Saints.
That was the best swing of the day we've seen for the Saints. Barreled up that baseball to left center. Great swing, and an even better job of McMoyer to cut that off. I thought that was double off the bat for sure. And I even thought Quant was still going to test Moyer, but he did not.
It's now Connor Bradshaw as the lineup flips over. First pitch from Reilly misses low, ball 1. Bradshaw struck out swinging back in the first to open up the ball game for the Saints. Quant only a few steps off of first, takes a few more shuffles, and which gets Reilly's attention as he checks over. Nothing going. Bradshaw, the right fielder, has his feet together. Very unorthodox stance. Quant's on the move, and he had that base stolen easily.
Oh, it was an insane jump.
No chance for Durfee, and the throw gets away from Schwartzberg and trickles into center field. But Quant, after sliding head first into second base, not quick enough to pop up and try to advance to third. Would have been an interesting decision there, to say the least. 2-0 count to Bradshaw. Saints trying to answer back. Reilly not keen on letting that happen. 2-0. Breaking ball. Weakly hit. Schwartzberg coming in hard. Tough play. Low throw, and Aude unable to handle it, and Quant advances to home on the error. Reilly should have been out of the inning there, but the error on Aude extends the inning for the Saints. It was a heck of a play by Zach Schwartzberg, guys. He had a lot of ground to cover and fielded it cleanly. The throw was low, but it was high enough for Aude to not even have to dig it out of the ground. Just popped out of the glove. For the Saints' first run. 2-1 ball game. Breaking ball in the dirt to Max Blessinger. Blessinger went after the first pitch and grounded out to Zach Schwartzberg back in the first. 1-0 count. Bradshaw a few steps off of first. Reilly misses again. 2-0 count. Second straight batter that Reilly has fallen behind. A look over at Bradshaw. And the 2-0. Line the other way for a base hit into right field. Bradshaw will stay put at first. It's first and second with 2 outs for the Saints.
And this is what's happened to the Oaks this summer, the trend they've tried to break the past couple of days, but it's one defensive mistake that leads to a big inning. The Oaks are trying to stop that trend. Blake Reilly specifically right now, try not to let this inning spiral for the Saints.
And with the heart of the order coming up and Reilly in danger of losing his composure, pitching coach Scott Radinsky going out there to try to calm the young man down. Coach Radinsky knows better than anyone. A former big leaguer, playing for franchises such as the White Sox and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Nobody better to talk to than to him. For a pitcher who knows that he should already be out of the inning. Trying to get back on track. Jordan Rogers trying to tie up the ball game. Thought about going, but it's a strike no matter what. 0-1.
Lake needed a first pitch strike there, get ahead. He's fallen behind the last couple of hitters. And
Reilly out of the stretch. Checks up Bradshaw. Ball in the dirt, good dig by Brendan Durfee. Last thing Reilly needs is pitch getting to the backstop and allowing both runners to get in scoring position here with 2 outs. Another check out Bradshaw, the 1-1. Lined into center field, and it falls for a base hit. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Bradshaw scores easily. Blessinger rounding third, coming home. And the Saints take the lead, 3-2 on the 2-out double by Jordan Rogers.
that's exactly what we were talking about. Trying to keep it in check, hope that the inning doesn't spiral out of control, but the Saints do a great job of taking advantage of the Aude.
All of these runs for Blake Reilly will go down as unearned. And the inning continues for the good hitting catcher. First pitch to Burge. High, ball 1.
It's crazy because Blake Reilly was cruising through this outing, retired the first 8 hitters of this ball game, and just like that, it's a 3-2 Saints lead. Still the same inning.
2 straight issued by Reilly. 2-0 now. 300 average is always something to be proud of for a hitter, but for a catcher, they can take extra pride as they're the hardest workers on the field, especially in a ballpark like this. It gets very hot here in Pasadena. Burge spending most of his days behind the plate directly in contact with the sun. 2-1 now. Saints have really taken advantage of the Aude error. 3 runs coming across. That one just below the knees, but gets the call. Does Blake Reilly, and the count runs to 2-2.
Great frame there by Durfee, helping his pitcher out. I'm sure Durfee wanted that call as much as anyone, as it was just called against him this past inning.
Some words of encouragement to Reilly from the Oaks dugout before the pitch. The 2-2. And that one gets the foot of Alex Burge. Reilly really throwing a back foot breaking ball, and it catches the toe of the Saints catcher. 4 straight base runners after the error including the era of Max Aude. 5 straight base runners have reached for the Saints after the first 8 being retired in order to open up their game. We'll bring up the dangerous Raider Tello. First pitch misses up and in for ball 1. Oh, and foul tipped into the glove of Brendan Durfee. 1-1 now.
It's a big swing there from Raider Tello. He's looking to drive that baseball.
Tello looking to unload there. Not even needing any help. 1-2. A 1-2 count to Raider Tello. Reilly having to work really hard this inning. Comes home, gets the strikeout. To retire the side, not before the Saints strike for 3 runs after the Max Aude error. We head to the top of the 4th. Oaks trailing 1. First pitch in the top of the 4th to Drew Smith is in there for strike 1.
3-8, huh? There you go. Get your best swing off right now, huh?
That one in the dirt, and count evens up at 1. Peyton Carriaco still in there. Or the Saints got some much needed rest after that 3rd inning where things really got away from him. And looking good so far in the 4th. 1-2 to Drew Smith. Carriaco looking for the punch out. That one.
On that Carriaco high fastball. So great job by Drew Smith to lay off of it.
Seen a few guys so far chase that upstairs fastball. Smith able to foul off that changeup. The bottom completely fell out of. 2-2.
Yeah, it's a good win there by Drew. Definitely looked like it was going to be a strikeout pitch, getting the chase from Smith, but he was able to just get a piece of it, keep the bat in the zone long enough.
Smith fouled it off directly into the dirt. I think some in the catcher Alex Burge's eyes. Home plate umpire giving Burge the time he needs to gather himself. Just gets a piece of to stay alive.
We're going to be strikeouts, and Smith spoils each of them.
Southpaw Carriaco set at the belt. Another 2-2. Another foul ball. Drew Smith really making Peyton Carriaco work hard this at bat. 3 straight foul balls.
That time Carriaco changed the eye level after back-to-back changeups, went with the high heat, and it did get in on the hands of Smith, but he was able to make contact with it to stay alive.
There's some children playing with toy cars in the bleachers as Smith strikes out swinging. Burge throws over to first to complete the strikeout. The sound was distracting. It even distracted the home plate umpire as he gave a sharp glare into the crowd. Parents of the two young gentlemen having some feel, telling them to cut it out. Ball game going on.
Good feel. Didn't have to send one of the interns over like last week. Flashlight.
Max Aude now at the plate.
He just missed a home run his first at bat.
1-0. 1-1. Aude's error in the bottom of the third. A key part in today's story so far. Allowed 3 runs to cross the plate for the Saints. Aude looks at a breaking ball away for ball 2. Aude simply can only dust himself off and try again and right that wrong. He goes after one in the dirt, 2-2. As Josh mentioned, Aude just missed out on a home run, his last at bat. Connor Bradshaw catching the ball just on the warning track. A 2-2 from Peyton Carriaco. Breaking ball, misses low, and the count runs full. 15th pitch of the inning for Carriaco already. Count is full, the sun is setting. 3-2 to Aude, foul tipped into the glove. Back-to-back strikeouts to open up the 4th.
Designated hitter number 9, Bennett Markinson.
Bennett Markinson now up for the Oaks. The DH today. Strike. Markinson was the first strikeout victim of the day. Carriaco. The 0-1 misses well low. There's a lot of guys playing catch in the Oaks bullpen. This is the biggest bullpen in the CCL. As Markinson comes up empty, 1-2. One, two. Burge doing some extra work back there, keeping the ball in front of him. Didn't have to do that as there's nobody on base, but the catcher never wants to fall asleep.
And if Markinson had swung and missed at that pitch, he would have kept it close.
The 2-2.
Oh, yeah.
Slap foul.
Good win, though. High heat there from Carriaco. Looked like he was going to blow by Markinson, who was able to even get on top of that pitch, just didn't get on time enough, and obviously couldn't see how far foul it was down the first base line.
Another 2-2 from Carriaco. And another ball slapped foul by Bennett Markinson. Toby Plotkin, Brett Edwards, and Cole Fisher all playing catch in the Oaks bullpen. We mentioned that we may be seeing Fisher, and he looks like he's doing some serious warm-ups. Plotkin and Edwards, a more casual game of catch. Another 2-2 from Carriaco.
Nice.
Another one in the dirt, and another one smothered by Burge
Win it.
as the count runs full. Carriaco looking to strike out the side. Striking out the side sounds like a dominant thing, but it'll be over 20 pitches to do so for Carriaco. 3-2. Popped up, well out of play.
Yeah, you mentioned Sammy. It's the first 2 batters down on strikes. Believe they both went full counts. Even if they didn't, they were both long at bats. And now Markinson's run the count full and fouled off a couple pitches. So that bat's going to be at 10 pitches soon.
Payoff pitch. Lined up the middle. Knocked down by Hammonds. Still had plenty of time to make the throw over to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Peyton Carriaco. Oaks go down quietly in the fourth. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Score remains 3-2. We are back for the bottom of the fourth. Blake Reilly's day is done. 3 innings of work, 3 runs, none of them earned. We do have a view of the Oaks bullpen, but we don't actually have a view of the mound as to who is really warming up. It's Avery Thau, and he gets a first pitch pop-up to open up his outing by Preston Godfrey. And the sound of Leonard Skinner can only mean that Mason Hammonds is coming up to the dish. Hammonds went down on strikes versus Blake Reilly to open up the third inning. That was the 7th batter of the game for the Saints that were all retired. Reilly got one more man to stay off the base paths. Then it was Jared Quant singling. Connor Bradshaw grounded out to Zach Schwartzberg, but Max Aude was unable to handle the throw. And that error led to 3 runs coming across in the bottom of the third. We welcome onto the broadcast social media sensation, Connor Mullen.
What's up, gents?
That one, comebacker right to the mound. Thau tries to knock it down, but it goes off his glove. Schwartzberg was far too deep, and the ball died on the grass, and no play for him. It's an infield single for Mason Hammonds. Connor, before we let you speak, we do, of course, have to thank you for the purchasing of the ice cream.
Of course, lads. Happy to cool everybody down. It's a scorcher out here today.
Sure is.
So
It's a tough one.
it is a real tough.
Just talking
Real
about it's a
tough
team
one.
game, and Connor
Team game,
looking out for everyone.
Oh,
Go Fouls.
Gonzalez shows bunt, and it's a perfect one as it stays fair and it dies on the grass. Drew Smith picks it up, looks up to the heavens, asking for an answer from the Lord Almighty, but it's a bunt single from Roberto Gonzalez. 2 straight singles that don't reach the outfield grass or the
From last time.
Yeah.
Atta babe. Atta babe.
Adjustment. It's a game of adjustments.
Baseball's a game of adjustments. Tic-tac-toe. On Twitter, also a game of adjustments. Jared Quant and the batter's block for the Saints singled and came around to score just last inning. Breaking ball from Tao misses away. 1-1.
That would be a good time for a 2-ball, don't you think, Josh?
Love it. Left-handed bat. See if he gets another breaking ball, locates that pitch, get a rollover.
Pitcher's best friend in the double play, especially with 1 out.
Good at getting jumps. Great at reading balls in dirt.
Love it.
A 1-2 count to Jared Quant. Inside move from Avery Tao. No throw.
Connor, you must be a big fan of Justin Turner's base running. He's not very fast, but boy, it's a great base runner.
It's
isn't it?
fundamentally sound, absolutely. I'm a big sucker for good base running. You don't have to be fast, you just got to be smart.
Justin Turner's brain is way ahead of his body.
Indeed. That was my problem. I knew what to do. My
Yeah.
body let me down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the
I hear
30
you.
seconds.
I hear you, Connor.
Yeah, after my 30 seconds. Yeah. Of course.
2-2 count to Jared Quant. Hammonds at second, Gonzalez at first. Tao comes home, and that ball's lined into right field. Chris Wright going back, and he'll...
Ground or double. To me, ground or double. Should be.
Josh lets you know it should be a ground rule double, but... And that's what the umpires are calling. It's a ground rule double for Jared Quant.
Bounced up against the net in right field.
The Saints third base coach letting the umpire know that he can't see that far. I can't see from me to Connor, so I am useless in this situation. It is a 1-run double for Jared Quant. And the Saints not done yet. 2 on, both name, family name.
I won't say family name, but it's a good name.
It's a family name.
Okay.
Sammy
It's a sign
decided.
of a strong family when you got a Connor somewhere. Bradshaw goes after the first pitch. Moyer drifting back, and that one will pepper off the wall. 2 runs come to score easily, and it's a 2-run double for Connor Bradshaw. 6-2 in favor of the Arroyo Seco Saints.
Not great, Bob.
That ball was pieced.
Certainly not the outing that the Oaks and Avery Tao were hoping for. He comes in, gets Preston Godfrey to fly out. And 4 straight hits after. 2 singles, 2 doubles. 3 runs coming across. 6-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th.
Plenty of ball game though left, Sammy.
Oh yeah, of course.
And the last couple of days, the Oaks have showed a lot of fight offensively late in the game, and they've got a lot of outs to work with.
A half-hearted bunt attempt by Max Blessinger. A head scratcher, to say the least.
Especially where first baseman's playing. I don't know what the thought process was behind that, but here we are.
Aude playing even with the bag, as is Drew Smith. Maybe a step in at third. Breaking ball, and Tao's ahead of Blessinger, 0-2. Avery Tao needs a strikeout here. Doesn't want this inning to get farther away from him. Blessinger tomahawks that one, and it'll drive in Bradshaw easily. Blessinger making the turnaround first, and he's in a second. 3rd straight double for the Saints. It's now a 7-2 ball game. Wasn't a bad pitch by Tao, as Blessinger had to climb up the ladder and tomahawk that baseball into left field.
Connor, can you get off the broadcast?
That's not.
If you're keeping score at if you're keeping score at home, folks, that's as soon as Connor Mullen came on the broadcast, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight hits and 4 runs.
I'll hop off for the boys. Feel like I need to.
Yeah.
Unselfish lad.
Team player.
Team player.
Team player Connor Mullen can read the room. Knows that it's time to leave. Maybe an Irish goodbye. Don't even say goodbye. Just get out of here.
We'll try him out later.
Oh, 1 to Jordan Rod on that changeup.
Connor apologizing to everybody.
Not Connor's best appearance on the broadcast this summer.
Definitely his shortest,
Quite
though.
possibly the worst. 4 runs coming across so far this inning. Dow still only has the 1 out.
Second straight hitter he's gotten to a 0-2 hole, but he couldn't retire Blessinger. Now he'll look to execute that strikeout pitch against Tello.
This is Rogers.
Rogers, yeah.
Looking to execute that same changeup. He steps off the mound, resets. Looking to throw that 0-1 changeup again. 1-2. Popped foul. Out of play. Trying to hear where the ball landed, but just disappeared. Vanished into thin air. 1-2. Dow's still looking for his second out. A look over at Blessinger. Comes home. Knocked down by Durfee, and Blessinger stays put at second.
Great job there by Durf to keep Blessinger at second there and keep the ball close. Blessinger advances, then the Saints are 90 feet closer to adding to their total this inning.
The 2-2 slap the other way. Right. Blessinger does not tag. And the 1-2 knockdown by Brendan Durfee looms large, as if Blessinger would have advanced on that. That could have been a sacrifice fly for the 5th run of this inning for the Saints.
And that's why Durfee gets the catching duties so often for the Oaks. Very hard working behind the plate. Keeps just about every ball close.
Another hard-working catcher up at the plate in the form of Alex Burge. And that's the second time that Burge has been hit by a pitch in consecutive plate appearances. This time on the first pitch, the last one was a little bit deeper into the count, and it brings up the dangerous bat of Raider Tello. Tello had the lefty-lefty matchup in his favor. But after hitting Burge, he'll have to face the righty in Raider Tello. Tello's been kept in check so far, 0 for 2 today. Burge at first, Blessinger at second. Tello at the plate. Tao comes home and misses low, ball 1.
Wouldn't surprise me if Blessinger took off in the next pitch or two. He's really been trying to get a feel for the timing at second base, and Falsken isn't holding him on too closely at second.
Tao looking to get out of the mess that he put himself in. 4 runs have come across in this inning. 5 straight hits in between that. Pretty much straight away. 2-1 pitch. Fouled back, 2-2. Xavier Tao 1 strike away from getting out of the 4th. Brendan Durfee letting his pitcher know, get me 1 more. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Taos 2-2 to Tello. Slapped up the middle. Base hit. Blessinger rounds third. He'll score easily. It's the 5th run of the inning for the Saints. Coach Scott Radinsky wasting no time getting right back out there for another mound visit. It'll extend the inning for Preston Godfrey. Godfrey also 0 for 2. He is the 9th. Oh, he already came up this inning. Saints have batted around. He was the first out of the 4th. And for Godfrey, you do not want to make 2 outs in 1 inning. But Tao does not want this inning to continue. Saints coach talking to the home plate umpire. Umpire has the lineup card out. Don't know what he could possibly be writing down. Maybe there was a mound visit. Surely it doesn't take that long to make note of such things. Gets his mask back on and we're just about ready to resume. Godfrey from the left side. First pitch, driven into center field. Moyer going back. He's going to run out of room. It's off the 3-run home run. The Saints absolutely unloading this inning. Avery Tao unable to set Godfrey down twice in 1 inning. And is really wearing it, to say the least. 8 runs coming across in the bottom of the 4th. Mason Hammond's now up for the Saints. He singled just a few moments ago. That was the beginning of Tao's nightmare inning. First pitch from Tao misses low for ball 1. The 1-0. Rolled over. Schwartzberg gathers. Throws across the diamond to finally retire the side. Saints put up 8 here in the bottom of the 4th and really break this game wide open. 11-2 in favor of the Saints. aggression, pure aggression in between innings.
We're getting frustrated over here, Sammy.
Carriaco still out there with a 9-run cushion. This is Carson Falsken, who pops one up out of play. 0-2 count. There is a helicopter above us. We cannot hear as it flies away. 0-2 count, Carson Falsken. Another 2-2 to Falsken. Above the eyes. And a full count to Carson Falsken. And another foul ball. Carriaco really having to labor. Another at 3-2. Another high fastball, and Falsken comes up empty. A well-worked at bat from Carson Falsken, getting to 9 pitches. But Carriaco wins the battle. 1 out here in the 5th. Top of the lineup now. Mac Moyer at the dish, 2 for 2. A couple of singles to Moyer's name. First pitch, breaking ball in there for strike 1. Seems like a century ago when Mac Moyer singled back in the 1st and came around to score. Goes the other way again, and for the 3rd consecutive time, Moyer gets a single, and he is able to advance as the Saints fell asleep in the outfield. Don't know if you can rule that a double. Even caught me sleeping. Was putting down another single in my book. Moyer taking advantage of the lackadaisical defense by the Saints and is on second for Zach Schwartzberg. Schwartzberg looks like a first pitch ball, 1-0. Schwartzberg doubled in the 1st, walked in the 3rd. Looks at another one outside. Immediately looked back at the umpire. Can't read lips, but may have said no way, no way. 2-0. The Oaks have any chance at coming back in this ballgame. It starts here, got to chip away, got to get a couple back here. 2-0 to Schwartzberg.
Get there. Yeah.
Hard drive on the ground and gets into left field. Moyer wasn't busting it out of the gate. Holds up at 3rd.
Moyer had to pause and make sure that ball got through the hole before heading towards 3rd base. No need to send him home there. Got scary for a second, but then Parker put on the stop sign.
Another mound visit by the Saints. Carriaco surely at the end of his line here has thrown a boatload of pitches.
He hasn't really had an easy inning. Even those 1, 2, 3 ones have been 20 pitches, nearly 20 pitches.
Saints trying to do Carriaco a favor and make him the pitcher of record. It's got to be up to him now as he is in trouble. Runners on the corners, 1 man out. Of course, the Saints would love for Carriaco to get 5 innings of work and become the pitcher of record, but they also are wary and don't want to let the Oaks build any sort of momentum to try to get back in this ball game. Moyer at 1st, Schwartzberg. Moyer at 3rd, Schwartzberg at 1st. Carriaco comes home to Carrillo. One fouled off, just foul. Fielded by the first baseman, Jordan Rogers.
The Oaks are grateful that that one was barely fouled, because if not, it probably would have been a double play ball.
First pitch fouled off by Austin Carrillo. Carrillo set at the belt. Comes home in the dirt. 1-1.
Gotta imagine Carriaco's nearing the end of the line here soon. 3 straight lefties, they might want that matchup with 2 righties warming up, but I don't think it should matter at this point.
9-run advantage for the Saints. Austin Carrillo, 1 strike, 1 out. Zach Schwartzberg at first. Mac Moyer at third. Neither runner getting any leads that you have to write home about. Moyer takes 1 more step off of third. The 2-1 fouled off into the Oaks dugout and actually knocks a bat down. Carrillo trying to work his way out of danger here. Austin Carrillo trying to shave a couple runs off the lead. Spits on a breaking ball and the count runs full. With Carrillo being such a high contact hitter, you cannot be surprised if Zach Schwartzberg is in motion on this pitch. Also trying to maybe get him in motion to get out of the double play possibility. No movement, check swing, tail over to second, no play at first. It's a fielder's choice for Austin Carrillo, but it drives in a run. From 9 runs to 8 runs, the Oaks modestly working their way back. Moving up, Chris Wright. First pitch to Chris Wright at the knees. Strike 1.
Can't imagine that Carrillo gets to face anyone past Brendan Durfee with a left-hander. It's back-to-back left-handers up right now.
High fastball. Wright comes up empty. 0-2.
This pitch count has to be up in the 90s at this point.
Not even be close to 100. The 0-2. And Chris Wright looking silly at the dish. Goes down on strikes to end the 5th. The Oaks get 1, but this game still far from being considered a good game. 11-3 in favor of the Arroyo Seco Saints. We are now in the bottom of the 5th. Halfway home in this ball game, the Saints out to a commanding 11-3 lead after the explosion in the 4th inning. 8 runs coming across for the Saints. For the Oaks, that was a strike on the outside corner. Counts 1-1. Roberto Gonzalez up for the Saints, and as many did in that 4th inning, got a hit and came around to score. The only man in the Saints lineup that did not score last inning was Jordan Rogers. Everyone else got a hit, came around to score, with the exception of Alex Burge, who was hit by a pitch. 2-1 now to Gonzalez, 3-1.
If you're Fish right now, entering a ball game that's already 11-3, not much you can do. Just keep the game as close as you can, and for him, this is just getting in work.
Gonzalez skies a 3-1 pitch into left field. Carrillo having to run a long way.
In their schedule, they don't care what the score of the ball game is. They just want Fisher to get out there and throw a few innings.
And Jared Quant, the number 9 hitter, 2 for 2 today. Backdoor breaking ball stays outside. Fisher falls behind Quant, 3-0. The game being at an 8-run deficit, Quant surely has the green light here. And he shoots it up the middle for his 3rd hit of the day.
We want them to throw it. That's what they'll do.
Fisher grooves a 3-0 fastball right down the middle, and Quant knows exactly what to do with it, shooting it right back where it came from for his 3rd hit of the day. Fourth time through the order for the Saints. Bradshaw is 1 for 3. Struck out in the 1st, reached on an error back in the 3rd, and doubled in the 4th. Goes after the 1st pitch in on the hands, and it's a bloop single for Connor Bradshaw.
And that 8-run explosion in the 4th where the Saints picked up a handful of hits. It was a lot of hard-hit baseballs, but that one off the bat of Bradshaw was one of the first really soft hits we've seen from the Saints, just a bloop single to left.
Gotta have pretty big hands for 7 hits to be considered a handful, Josh. Seven hits for the Saints in the 4th.
That's pretty remarkable.
Already 2 here in the 5th. Blessinger up, 2 for 3 today. Fisher steps off and resets.
Still just a ground ball away from getting back in the dugout.
Fisher, breaking ball, catches the inside corner, 1-1. Couple of guys, couple of position players now warming up just outside of the Oaks dugout. Could maybe sing a couple guys entering the ball game. Fisher comes home, misses away. One and one to Max Blessinger. Quant at second, Bradshaw at first. Saints currently have an 8-run cushion. So the bats will be flying right now as Blessinger tries to send one to the moon, comes up empty. 1-2. Max Blessinger looking for his third hit of the day.
Turn
Breaks
it.
his back. Schwartzberg over to second for one. Just gets Blessinger for the double play. Cole Fisher gets out of the inning without a run coming across. We head to the bottom of the fifth, and before we do, we would like to tell you guys a little bit about our sponsors. Of course, as you've seen on the stream the past couple of days, securing new sponsors, Pizza Man Dan's and Cronies Bar and Grill, sponsoring in between innings. And our big sponsors, the Amateur Baseball Development Group, Mike Sosha,
Randy Reilly.
Kevin Muno, and Amy Ashford. Big funders of the ABDG, which is the leading sponsor for the Oaks, providing the majority of the funding. And without them, we really could not do what we do. The broadcast, the team itself. And of course, the official hat sponsor of not only the California Collegiate League, but the Conejo Oaks, Richardson Sports, generously providing all the teams around the CCL with their hat wear. Something, Josh? New pitcher for the Saints. It looks like it's number 50, Calvin Bickerstaff. He'll be coming in to begin the sixth inning. We'll stay with you. We cannot thank our sponsors enough, as we really owe them everything for what we do, giving us a lot of entertainment throughout the summer. We wouldn't be here without them. The Oaks have a long way to go here. 4 more innings to hit to try and find 8 runs. Bickerstaff, a bit of a fan favorite for the Saints. The big, dominant right-hander. Bickerstaff this summer, 13 innings of work, 5 earned runs for a respectable 3.46 earned run average. We welcome back Connor Mullen.
Hey guys.
Hey, Connor.
So,
I'm hoping
tough one.
it was a tough inning, but if we could reverse it. All right, I came on and the team got a lot of hits, so if we do it this way,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we get a lot of hits, maybe we can make a little comeback here.
very smart man.
Very
smart man. Bickerstaff really taking the Saints fan base by storm. One of the favorite pitchers, the Arroyo Seco fan base. The crowd is keen on seeing him pitch. Brendan Durfee leading
Bounce
off
over his
the
head.
inning. Fellas, 1 pitch, 1 out. Can't blame him. 8-run deficit. Nobody enjoys those. Except the other team. Team ahead might. Drew Smith in there. Looks at a first pitch ball.
All it takes is one, Sammy. All it takes is one.
One leads to another. 1-0 to Smith. In there, strike 1.
Get him on, get him over, get him in.
8 more times.
8 more times. Hey, it's been done before.
It has been done before. Smith weakly grounds out to the second baseman Gonzalez. 2 batters grounding out to the second baseman here in the 6th.
Connor, the strategy might not be working out too well.
I don't know what to tell you, Josh. I'm trying my best out here.
No, I appreciate it, yeah.
And bring up Max Aude Aude 0 for 2 today. First pitch from Bickerstaff. Misses high.
Bickerstaff really taking the hearts of the Oaks players today. That was a good pass.
The 1-1 Aude. Dangerous swing there. Comes up empty. 1-2.
Bickerstaff making another Oak look silly.
Has made a few people involved with the Oaks look silly. 1-2 to Max Aude. Strikes out swinging. Easy inning for Bickerstaff to end the 6th. The Oaks still trailing 11-3. Bottom of the 6th, Cole Fisher still out there for your Oaks. Jordan Rogers. Yeah, Jordan Rogers. No. Yes. No. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Jordan Rogers.
Jordan Rogers.
You're doing great.
After the forgot to mark in my book that Max Blessinger grounded out in a double play to end the inning.
Oh, yeah. See ya.
And it's a 3-pitch strikeout for
Good.
Cole Fisher. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Fisher tucking in Jordan Rogers.
Wow.
For Alex Burge. Burge would prefer not to be hit by a pitch here, as the last 2 times he was up. Took one in the back.
Burge was the
Balls on the back, not very great.
first round opponent against Brendan Durfee in the home run derby.
Obviously put away.
He had a high
with
score,
ease.
though, didn't he? Oh, no, just Durfee at 9. It wasn't close.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he hit 3, I believe.
I wasn't there.
Connor's
I was.
unselfish boy. Team guy.
Big
2-0.
team guy.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
We knew it was going on because of
Huge. 2-0 to number 2, Alex Burge. Fisher into the windup, the pitch. Right at the knees. Strike 1.
Hey, little pups.
Bit of a dog break right there in between pitches. Good pup. Burge ahead of the count, 3-1. And works Brendan Durfee, signaling to Cole Fisher to settle down a little bit.
Third baseman.
There's no pressure on Cole as he's in the game at an 11-3 with an 11-3 score, so there's not much else he can do but throw strikes. Connor, as a coach, when you're down 11-3, still got 3 innings to play after this, how do you keep your team engaged in the ballgame?
We start with little victories. You got to win one pitch at a time, and take the positives out of everything. If somebody has a good at bat, somebody makes a good play, like the double play last thing, that was a positive. Take the positives out of everything, and then kind of build off that into the next game. Obviously,
How do you, as a coach, stay engaged in the game?
well, just kind of like what I was saying. You talk to your guys, bring up the positives. You say, hey, that boy, good play, or good pitch, good stuff.
Any
And then-
jokes getting cracked, maybe? Trying to still lighten the mood a little bit.
It might be for after the game.
Burge was on the move, and it's lined into left field. It'll be a ground rule double.
Connor, I have a question. So oftentimes in these games, you still see coaches talking so vigorously in the dugout when there's not much strategy to be going on in this game. Are they talking about the next day, like the next game, or are you still just like talking about like past plays?
Well, you're talking about with your staff, you know, what works, what doesn't. You're still trying to figure that out. You know, now's a good time to try stuff out. You know, we had a couple defensive changes this inning, so maybe we look and see, you know, what guys can show out and get an opportunity to play. So that's something you talk about, and then, you know, he's talking to Coach Rad a little bit, so talking about, you know, what they could have done different, and then what they can do better for next time. There's all sorts of conversations that you have between the staff that, you know, a lot of guys don't really understand what's going on there, but you can learn a lot in losses as well as wins.
Those defensive changes that Connor was talking about. Nick Leahy entering the game for Carson Falsken, but playing third as that ball is skied into left field. Carrillo misjudges it, and it goes over his head. 2 runs will score easily on a double from Preston Godfrey. 3 straight base runners, 2 straight doubles allowed by Cole Fisher.
I believe Nick Leahy came in for Zach Schwartzberg as Carson Falsken moved over to the shortstop. And
You got better eyes than me, brother.
Drew Smith moved over to second base.
Right you are. Right you are, Connor. And also Sean Blandino entering the game for Chris Wright in right field. Brings up Mason Hammonds. Hammonds grounded out to short to end the long 4th inning. One for 3 today. Fisher steps off, resets. One and one to Hammonds. 13 runs on 14 hits for the Saints here in the 6th inning.
Oh no, here. Sorry. Where was I?
Cole Fisher looks at Godfrey.
It's a good pitch there by Fisher, right at the knees.
Good frame there by Durf.
1-2 count to Mason Hammonds. That one popped up. Aude being told he has plenty of room and makes the catch. Aude able to hang on to that one for out number 2.
Second baseman.
Roberto Gonzalez in for his 4th at-bat of the ball game. Never a good sign when the number 8 hitter is getting his 4th at bat in only the 6th inning. First pitch from Fisher. Rounded over to first. Backhanded play by Aude. Fisher covering the bag to retire the side. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Saints. Extends their lead to 10. 13-3 at the end of 6. Bennett Markinson leading off the 7th for the Oaks. Calvin Bickerstaff still on the mound for the Saints.
Just put it on one ear. Just take it off.
And for the 2nd time this summer, we welcome onto the broadcast
Yeah, like that, exactly.
one of the most important people in this organization, McKenna Solis.
Wow, I'm honored. Thank you, Sammy.
How you doing today, Mike?
Doing pretty good. It's a nice night out. Pretty toasty still, but, you know,
No need to
Living
put on
life.
a sweater yet, that's
No.
for sure.
definitely not.
The 1-2 to Markinson. Rounded up, fires across the diamond for out number 1.
Mac, would you offer any words of encouragement to this Oaks dugout? What would you tell them?
Just keep having fun. Honestly, that's my motto. Always, just have fun. Try your best. You know, learn from the mistakes and keep going.
Spoken from a coach's daughter.
As we got a wisecrack in the background from Connor Mullen. So the score on the scoreboard says 13-3, but it is legally fun to fun, according to Connor Mullen. As Carson Falsken steps into the dish. 2-0 count.
How are you guys doing tonight?
You're doing a lot
Chasing
better.
10.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, game isn't over till it's over. You know?
It's true.
That is true.
It's true. That one at the belt. One. Mac, you want to remind the people at home what you do for the Oaks?
My title is Director of Operations.
That sounds important.
You know, I
Does.
try. I'm kind of Becca, our assistant general manager, her kind of right-hand woman. So whatever she needs, I'm there. I go on all away games with my
With your right-hand woman,
co-director of operations, Alexis, also known as X.
Falsken rolls over to the shortstop Hammonds, as Markinson did before him, for the 2nd out of the inning. Care to continue?
Oh, yeah. So let's see. Away games, X and I kind of handle food, just whatever coaching staff needs, whatever other interns need. We're just kind of ready to help out whenever we can. And then home games, it's kind of the same thing, just making sure game days run smoothly and all that.
Yeah, but you got double duty on home games this year, right?
I do. I also work with our amazing athletic trainers, Yoshi and Bree. They're awesome. So I'm shadowing them, just learning a bit more about that field. It's been really fun.
Mac Moyer now at the plate. Fouls one off. 0-1. Calvin Bickerstaff looking for another 1-2-3 inning. He's set down the first 5 batters he's faced. That one in the dirt. Moyer gets out of the way. And how is it, McKenna, working so closely with your father, Coach Dave?
I love it. It's really fun. We spend, every day together. Even
As
on off days.
Moyer lines one down the right field line. He's rounding first, rounding second, heading for third.
Oh,
And
good
he's
job,
in
Mac.
there easily with a stand-up triple.
Your fellow Mac.
Fourth
See, he was
hit of the
having fun
day.
out there.
He's now 4 hits today.
He's having fun, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing good.
He's
Duh,
having,
'cause he's having fun.
He's having a lot of fun.
Go tell
4
them all to have
hits
fun.
on the day for Mac Moyer.
He might be the only Oak that's having fun today.
I'll remind them. I'll tell them to have fun. Try your best. That's all you can ask for. May have some rough days, and that's okay. That's how it goes.
Certainly heard about him before.
1-1 now to the freshly entered Nick Leahy. Entered the game and moved to third base. Fastball blown by him for strike number 2. Don't have a radar gun out here, but that one had a nice pop of the mitt. The catcher Burge. Leahy trying to stay alive. Bickerstaff stares into Mac Moyer's eyes, comes home, struck him out. After the 2-out triple, nothing else. Given up by Calvin Bickerstaff. At the end of 7, at the end of 6.5, actually. 13-3 in favor of the Saints.
Wait, how do you? Wait.
Okay.
We are back for the bottom of the 7th. Cole Fisher still out there. Jared Quant up at the plate for the Saints. Looks out one at the outside corner, 1-1. Special guest for you, first time on the broadcast this summer. The other half of our amazing social media team here with the Conejo Oaks. Social media sensation, Emily.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you today?
I am good. How are you doing?
We're chasing 10.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all hot and sweaty and sticky.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal today.
Emily, you want to enlighten the viewers on what you do for the Oaks?
Yes, so my name is Emily Sadowski, and I am half of the team for the social media internship. And I basically just make sure the Instagram is looking professional with quality updates within the game and what is going on within our season. And yeah, working side by side with Connor.
Lucky.
Yeah, yeah, he's great.
Certainly a dynamic duo that rivals Kareem and Magic, Kobe and
Kobe and
Shaq,
Shaq.
Jordan and Pippen, Peanut Butter and Jelly,
Emily and Connor.
Emily and Connor.
All some of the best duos in the history of the game.
No, he's a great partner.
Yeah. We love Connor.
Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco. We can continue on and on
Yeah.
about the great dynamic duos that Connor and Emily remind us of. Leadoff walk was issued by Cole Fisher to Jared Quant. First time that Quant didn't get a hit in a plate appearance, but is still yet to be retired. It is now the 5th time through the order for the Saints. It is a pinch hitter, I believe. Has to be.
Yeah.
Bradshaw was 55.
All right, let's
We don't have the paper rosters in front of us, so we get caught behind a little bit. Kite McDonald, pinch hitting for Connor Bradshaw.
Oh, we've seen him.
An outfielder for outfielder change, and he's behind Cole Fisher 1 and 2. Emily, what has been your favorite part of your job so far this summer?
Other than working with Connor, of course.
Honestly.
And working with me and Josh, obviously. As that one's chopped up the middle, Falsken fields and steps on the bag for 1, but not in time to get the double play and catch the speedy McDonald.
I would say my favorite part has been getting to meet everyone and getting to make new friends. And I would say growing the following on the Instagram, because our goal is to get to 1,000 followers at the end of this summer ball. So
Where are we at?
we are at, well, Connor and I started at about 820 followers, and we are at 972 followers.
Ooh.
So we are getting very close to that 1,000 goal.
Great work, guys.
Yeah.
Get those numbers up.
But no, it's been fun working this summer with everyone.
Dylan Jackson at first base now for Max Aude.
Thank you, Josh. Blessinger slaps one the other way. It'll fall into the gap. Blandino throws in quickly to make sure that Blessinger stays at first. The newly entered McDonald will go first to third, and it's runners on the corners with 1 out.
And we know, Emily, you've also been trying to get some traction in the TikTok game, but
Yes.
been some trouble with that.
Sadly, it's been a little difficult, but you know what? You gotta work with what you have. So if anyone wants to check out the TikTok, it's at Conejo Oaks.
We have all of the social medias on the
Perfect.
stream
Perfect.
for everyone to follow. It's not hard to find. You just go into the search bar, type in Conejo Oaks, and our account will pop up. I don't think we have any impersonators yet.
Not big
Maybe
enough.
once we once we reach 1,000 followers on Instagram,
Yeah.
that's when you'll start seeing the fake
Keep an eye out for those.
spam accounts. Another pinch hitter for the Saints is Jack pinch hits for Jordan Rogers.
Will
Rogers
you still,
was 1 for 4. Go
will
ahead.
you still be purchasing that cake?
If we reach 1,000, but their cakes are not the priciest. That one, not the most affordable. That one's popped up on the infield. Carson Falsken makes the catch. Round number 2. Getting a big sheet cake from Carlos Bakery is not the cheapest option. So maybe
Maybe Costco.
maybe Costco, maybe Whole Foods,
Oh,
maybe Bread Basket, maybe just the local Walmart. We don't know. Maybe Vons.
Vaughn's is actually not that bad. I won't lie.
Vons has pretty good stuff.
Yeah, we could pick it up on the way to one of the Southern games. Oh, we don't go to OC anymore. Just kidding.
That one's driven into
Please be
right
foul.
field. And it's a fair ball down the line for Alex Burge. Rounding third and coming home to score is Max Blessinger for the 15th run of the ball game. Burge advances to third on the throw. And with that, we also notice that Solis makes a motion down to the bullpen.
Scott Radinsky, I believe.
Scott Radinsky coming in for the Oaks. We'll step away here. We come back, still 15-3. When are we reaching?
I don't know. I would say probably in the next week and a half or so. That's my goal.
Do we have a deadline to set? Like, if we don't hit it by a certain date, no cake?
No.
Oh.
No.
So if it gets to 1,000 followers in the off season, I have to come and find you.
Yeah, just kidding.
Sammy, you got to mail a cake.
No, the
Well,
deadline
no,
is
okay.
basically when summer ball's done. That's basically it. But we're going to hit it, so it's all about positive attitude.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll be looking out for that.
In the inning. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 in. Radinsky comes home and it's fouled out of play.
Emily's a big fan of one of the dogs here at the ballpark.
Yes. Yes, I am.
In the right field for another base hit. And another run for the Saints.